Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Thoughts from the Bubble. I'm Kiara, your host, and I invite you into my bubble where I talk about random shit. Well, not too much is random today, as it is deeply personal. So, when I first started this podcast, I said my intention was to use it as a form of therapy, as a form of journaling, and just I've been having all these thoughts, so just getting these thoughts out. And one of the thoughts that I've been really having is centered around my dad. So my dad and I have a very weird relationship. I talked to him when I was growing up. I would talk to him every few years, and it'd be like a minute and a half conversation. Here recently, as I've gotten older and with the use of like social media and Facebook and stuff, we text a little bit more, and it's still like check-ins. How you doing? Good. All right. How's family? Good. Okay. Bye. And we're not connected. We just do check-ins. We're acquaintances at this point. Um, but my eyes have been open this year, and one of the things that has really caused me to be very emotional is the thoughts of what if my dad were to pass away? What if I were to pass away? Because hey, honestly, tomorrow's not promised, y'all. Like we're all on borrowed time. Every day is a blessing that we wake up, and I've always said that, but to actually feel it now, it's like, oh my gosh, if this man were to die and we're still in this weird relationship, this weird space, I would be so heartbroken and so devastated that we never got it together. And honestly, that's some people's reality. They never get it together. Like I had an aunt who passed away, and I feel bad for my cousins because they'll never get that out with her. They'll never, you know, get it all out, talk about the elephant in the room, get it all out, and then let's start new, let's start fresh. They'll never get that chance. And it's like, I have an opportunity to do that. But here's the thing, a part of me is a little scared. So has anybody ever have to navigate this? Like navigating, trying to fix a relationship or trying to fill a void? Because honestly, that's what it is. And I've always said that my father not being in my life has never really bothered me because he's never. My dad and I have lived in two different states majority of my life, but as I was from being born to 5 years old, we lived in the same town. So, but from 0 to 5, we lived in the same town. I still didn't know who he was. It wasn't like I was going to my dad's house on the weekends or going to see him every day. Like we didn't see each other. So it's like I've never had a father. I remember when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I was supposed to go stay with my dad for a summer. And I practiced in that mirror. I got in the mirror. This is how crazy it was. I got in the mirror and I practiced how to say dad or daddy. I had to practice this because it was a foreign word to me. It's not even in my vocabulary. I don't even call him dad. That to me is who has to practice having to say this, like, because I don't know what to call this man. He's not my dad. I don't he's my dad, but he's not. And that's a void in me, and it's like first you have to acknowledge the void. And I just recently did that of saying, wow, how my dad not being in my life, it actually affected me. It did. Like I remember being a kid and being jealous of other kids who had dads. So crazy how my imagination is. I invented a dad. I invented a dad. And in my head, I had this loving father who he just had to be away. Like maybe he was in the military. I don't remember. But like he was away. But I had a dad, right? And that's not the case. Like I didn't have one. And that deeply affected me to the point where I didn't even know how to really like talk to men. Like I didn't. A part of me was kind of afraid of men, and that's sad to say. But him not being there, him not giving me the tools that I needed, him not telling me that I was beautiful, or hey, don't listen to these knucklehead guys out here. Like, I didn't get that. And that should have came from my dad. Honestly. I remember my first boyfriend, he did not treat me well at all. Like, I needed my dad to step in and show me how a man was supposed to treat me. I've never seen how a man is supposed to treat me. Not in real life. I mean, I've seen it in books and movies and, but like to actually see the epitome of what a man is supposed to be to a woman, like I've never seen that. My dad was not that man for me. He was my first heartbreak. Honestly, really my only heartbreak. It comes from him. And this is going to sound so bad, but as I'm reflecting and as I'm acknowledging the void that he's caused in my life, like I feel like there's a lack of respect. And I hate to say this. But I don't respect my dad as a man. When I think about a man, I think about a man who's leading a family. Like he's this regal, this king that is leading his family. He's given advice to his wife. He's giving advice to his kids, and he's showing them. He's modeling for them how to be a good human. I don't look at my dad like that. I'm like, oh, this is what I got. Damn it. Like, it sounds so bad, and I don't want to be like that. Like, I want to look at my dad and have a respect for him, but it's going to take more than these minute and a half conversations for us to do that. And honestly, a part of me is scared. Yeah, a part of me is scared because what if I, try to have this conversation with him and he shuts me down and we never get out of the space? That's going to be another level of rejection from him. That's going to be another heartbreak from him. And I don't want that. I don't want that at all. But I'm going through this like internal struggle, this internal fight of saying, well, Kiara, if you keep things the way that it is, it's going to be this, and he's going to die, and you're going to be devastated. Or I can try to have a conversation with him, and it's he doesn't want to have this conversation, and I don't want to have. I don't want him thinking that I'm coming from a malicious place, because I'm not. Like, my intent is not to hurt this man. My intent is not to break this man down. But I feel like in order for me to move forward in my life, to get to the next step in my journey, I have to have this conversation with him. Well, there's my answer. I think I just came to that conclusion. Has anyone else out there had this weird, been in a weird space, a weird relationship with a parent, and how they've navigated trying to fill that void of not having their dad there or their mom there, whomever it may be. It could be a sister, brother, it could be just a family member. I don't know. Part of me wants to ask my dad, like, why? Why? Why and how? First of all, how could you be in the world and not wonder how your daughter is? Or maybe he wondered. That's something I don't know. That's a question I'll have to ask him. But I do have a void. And for the first time in my life, I'm acknowledging that void. Whew, y'all. I told you today was going to be deeply personal. I'm very much conflicted on how I want to move forward with the relationship between me and my dad. I feel like I feel like him not being in my life has caused me to act certain ways, caused me to do things that I probably wouldn't have done if I had my dad in my life. Because I read an article on father-daughter relationships and how not having, when daughters don't have positive male role models in their life, that they kind of do things, have those do things to get the attention of men or seek outside validation. And that's been one of the things that I've always struggled with, is seeking outside validation. I feel like a part of me needs that validation, you telling me, oh, you're doing good and all that, because I didn't get that from my dad. I didn't, and that hurts. Even now, even in my current relationship, I feel like his void has caused me to look at some of the things that my boyfriend has said, and I'm like, wow, how can my dad think like that? Like, we were watching Insecure, and when Lawrence and Condola were having their baby, and Condola drove off, and Lawrence just standing there. My boyfriend said, oh, hell no. If that was my child, I'm going to jump in. Just going to be together for my child. That's my child. And I'm like, damn, well, I wonder if my dad had that same saying. Do all men have that? Of wanting to be an active parent? Hell, maybe my dad did, and my mom blocked him. I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know my dad's story. I don't know that man's favorite color. I don't know his hopes, his fears. What you want to be when you grew up. I don't know anything. And I literally don't have a connection to his family. So a whole side of myself, I don't know. And that's crazy to me. Like, how can you have a whole human that you helped create that's out in this world, and you're not there? You don't watch them grow up. You don't watch them mature. Why? Why would you lay down and have a baby that you weren't going to be there for? That's what I want to know. Why would you do this? But through all of that, I still love my dad. But I want to love him unconditionally. I want to love him in the way that a daughter should love her father. And I don't want to just love him because I'm obligated to. Honor thy mother and thy father. Like, yeah, I have to do that, but I don't want to continue having the but. Maybe I'll send him this podcast and see what he says. And maybe that'll open up the door for us. But if you struggle with this, or have navigated this unknown territory with trying to repair a relationship, or trying to build a relationship with a parent, let me know, because your girl needs some help. I need some tips and some tools. But those are all the thoughts that I had, that I wanted to get out, that's been heavily on my heart. So if you have the same thoughts, step out there and try to reach out to that person. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to my dad, and I'll update you all on how that goes. So thanks for listening, and have a great day, y'all. Until next time.